Hello, I'm Bob Gordon from aroundthesound.com.au, and it's time for a round with
Cal. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. This is good. Callum Kramer from Southern River Band, the Rose from Thornley.
Every rose has a thorny, man.
That's right. How the devil are you?
Not too bad, mate. Apart from the maximum perspiration that seems to be happening to both of us right now.
Absolutely.
There's no complaints.
We're upstairs at the Rosemount Hotel, which will be the scene of your next crime. Am I wrong?
This Saturday, the 17th of March, we will be here with all the bells and whistles.
Yep. And it's the single tour. And what's the name of the single?
The single is called Cigarettes, and then in brackets, it's quite big on the grammar in a lot of the songs. A lot of the older songs have it, so it's Cigarettes, open bracket, ain't helping me none, close bracket. And to prove it, I'm on the digital diaries now, as you can see, so, you know, It's not really much of a lie. And if you need more positive affirmation, it does say it there. So I'm a man of my word, if nothing else.
And I like it so much, I bought his t-shirt. That is you, right?
Absolutely. At an era gone by, I do spell my name with the C now.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Now tell us about the single before we go anywhere. And so it's recorded with a new lineup. And,
Yep.
And where's it taking you?
Well, it's taken us on our first sort of proper East Coast tour, where so we've been over to Queensland so far and Victoria, both times doing festivals, which, as you know, being a WA band it's pretty hard yakka to get over there anyway.
Yeah.
So now we've been able to do this, and we're playing at the Cherry Bar in Melbourne. We're playing back in Geelong, which is sort of doubling up on when we did Queenscliff in November. So we're just sort of hitting back the places that we have, and we're doing Boogie Festival in Victoria, which is awesome. So, and coincidentally enough, it actually got played on Home and Hosed on Triple J last night, which, for a rock and roll band in the 21st century I like to think is quite the achievement.
You've been
But
there,
that's what I
done
tell
that.
myself anyway.
Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
And speaking of festivals, you did Nan Up recently.
Yep.
And last year I saw you several times. They get you playing marathon sets at Bridgetown.
Yep.
And but you're not so much a festival band, although you have been, but you've been a festival kind of guy. Like you've been since Blue Shaddy and stuff. You were playing all the festivals. So yeah, just what was it like for you growing up? Not
I
yet.
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, just playing shows on the road. So you're a very young drummer for Blue Shaddy. So you clearly come to an element of expertise from a young age to even begin that.
I appreciate the compliment. Basically, if you want to go back to the start, at my house, both my mum and dad are musical. My granddad on my mum's side was musical. My oppa on my dad's side was musical. And so there's all, and that's going back to the old one half's Eastern European, the other half's British. Yeah.
Oppa grandpa style.
Yeah. So it's German for grandpa, but he played the piano, accordion, and that literally like that. And then my granddad was a singer, and so that got passed down. But dad didn't play, but mum did. So then when they got together, mum taught dad how to play guitar, and then fast forward however many years, they started having jam nights at our house on Tuesdays. It evidently was called the Tuesday Night Club, and we all these musos. So I was about 10 when this started, and we used to have it on Tuesday and Friday nights, and all these different people used to come through. People like Blue Shaddy, Kim Musso, he's good friends with my parents, who works at Cosmic, and all the Eugene Hideaway Bridges, all these guys. Steve Pike that used to run 107.3, the Cruising for a Bluesman or whatever it was. So this is all, when I'm 10, 11 years old. So I'd be sitting there, playing on the drums and whatever, and these people would come through and I'd jam with them. And then with the Shaddies, that's what happened. One day they come round, and mum and dad were like, "Oh, you've got to have a play with our son. You've got to have a play with..." Sorry, you've got to have a jam with our son. We can edit that out, right? So, wording is everything. But they're like, "You got to."
The other one's another story. Completely.
So they're like, "Yeah, you got to have a jam," and they're like, "Oh, probably going, who's this fucking kid? What's the, humour the kid, whatever." And they're like, "Oh, what do you want to play, Cal?" And I was like, "Oh, Walk On," which is one of the songs off their first album. because that's all I used to play along to. And then so we played like that, and then they were like, oh, you know, you can play. And then that was when I was about 11, and then later that year I got up with them at Clancy's in Freo and played my first set with them when Rooney, their drummer, was late for a set, so his kit was already there, and they gave me some wooden spoons from the kitchen, and I did a set like that. And then 7 years later, I got the call to join the band full time and went on the road from then. So all that, and you can imagine in that 7 years, all the different paths that were wandered down.
And so you had a couple of bands before Southern River Band, Red Engine Caves as well.
Yeah, I joined Red Engine Caves for a few years. Fuck, I forgot about that band. Yeah, that was good. I was in also in a band with Ant, our original bass player from SRB. We were in a couple of we were in one called Thrust and one called Southside Cobras, and that was with Anton and his brother Lex, and it was a 3P. You would have loved that band, man. We used to get called, what was it? What was that Swedish stuff? Sleaze metal? We never were. We were just a rock and roll band, but that's what people used to call us. Evidently, I didn't even know it was a genre. But yeah, that was a pretty hard rocking sort of band. I was still drumming then.
Yeah.
And that was at the same time as playing in a, blues and roots band, basically.
Yeah. And so when did the Southern River Band become?
When did it? It was either, what year are we in now? 2018. So 17, 16. It was at the end of 2014 when a guy named Bear, Ant and I were at the Thorn, and he come up to us, and this guy's got Bear in rings on his knuckles, like big stainless steel rings that say Bear on them. But I thought that they'd be the other way around, because I thought it'd be like if he punches you, he leaves his name on there, but it's not. It's red like that way.
Rehab.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to hold a mirror up to the person after you've done it, which I suppose then let them set. But yeah, he was just, oh, you guys are in a band, and we were like, yeah, and, I'd written a couple of songs and whatever, and then he booked us a gig at the Thornley Tavern, and then it started 2015. We had our first gig at the Thorn, and we were playing all covers, all the classic rock sort of pub covers, and then a few originals, and then it just sort of snowballed from there.
Did Southern River Band, was it just organic, or was it something that you wanted to do? Because you went out front.
Yep.
Was there something that you were fueling into it, or was just natural progression?
I think it was a bit of both, because I actually forgot at the same time as well. I was playing with Morgan Bain for a few years. I was drumming for him. And so it got to a point where...
Insane with the M. Bain.
Yes. Well, I say he was the Morgan Bain of my existence, but...
It still is.
I was on the phone to him yesterday, actually. But he was pushing me, and so were the Shaddies. They were like, you got to start doing your own thing, Kaz. That's what they used to call me, Kaz. They're the only two people that have ever called me that, but, well, not two people. The Shaddies are obviously more than one person. But, yeah, they started pushing me to doing it, so I'd already had the songs there, and I'd just never really been... I'd always played guitar as a kid, but I'd never really been out the front. I didn't really have too much desire to, till it got to a point where I was writing songs, and I was like, well, fuck, may as well just do it myself. You know what I mean? It comes that time where if, the old saying, if you want something done to your liking, then you've got to do it yourself. I was going to say if you want something done right, but what my definition of right might not be someone else's, so I'll go with to your liking. But yeah, so it was kind of, half organic. Like I say, the gig was lumped on us and we had to do it. But then doing that, we played at the Thorn for bloody hell on and off over a year. And we kept going back there and playing at the same locals, and we actually were the only band, and I say this God's honour, whatever one you believe in, honour them. We've done the grand tour of Thornley. We've played at Lakers Tavern on Christmas Eve, which is the night of all nights. We played at the Gosnell City Soccer Club, and then we played at the Thornley Footy Club, which they share a car park just off Bearhaven and Hume Road, and we played at the Thornley Tavern. So that was the apprenticeship, if you will, of the band.
Right. The Thornley's
fucked.
Not. well, I was going to say it's more than a location, though. It's burnt into your spirit, really, isn't it? It's your spirit suburb.
Yeah. Well, some say I'm still trying to smoke it out now. Speaking of burning it, but I'm still there. It's It's an interesting place, man. It really is. Some parts are just like stepping back in time, in good ways and in bad ways. But I've always described it as a small country town in the heart of the suburbs, basically.
And it's the southern suburbs, but the southern in southern Riverbend, there's a southern from like another hemisphere running through there, isn't it? So,
well, the name the Southern Riverbend actually comes from. So I'm born in Gosnells Hospital, which is just past Thornley, and if you go sort of towards Ashburton from where my granddad used to live, Wade Street, go across Ashburton, so you go across Caulfield Street, and then you can actually get up to Southern River Road, and it takes you to the Southern River.
Use Google Maps.
Good, 21st century, of course. But yeah, the Southern River, my granddad used to take me there as a kid all the time, and I'll never forget thinking, I was like, fuck, when I was going through quite a heavy Leonard Skinner phase, and the whole, yeehaw Southern thing was sort of sticking into my brain a little bit, that one sort of never left me. And then, for better or for worse, still here. But I just would like to say that it's none of the connotations with the rebel flag or nothing. It's nothing to do with that. It's literally the Southern River, as in the river, and we're the band of the river.
Yes.
Man.
And it's deeply about good times. We come from a place where there's a lot of kind of modesty in our rock and roll over here on the West Coast. It's not... there's lead singers who kind of are in their own zone and niche, but there's often not the full frontman type, and you are that type. And do you think that's born, or is it assumed?
That's actually, man, I can honestly remember when I started talking about the organic thing. When I started this band, my first thing that I said to everybody, because like I was saying, I'd never been out front before, I said, when I get on stage, I'm just going to be myself all the time, for better or for worse. And that, I think, shines through in anything. A lot of people, what's that quote? Some people say, oh, are you like this because you're in a band? No, I'm in a band because I'm like this. It boils down to that, I think. And that's, again, for better or for worse. But
do you get people saying, are you in a band or something?
Oh, not often, but yeah. No, I get librarian a fair bit. Used car salesman's another one. I try to tell people I'm a scientist.
Well, I know. I think it's happened a few times. So there's a story that Tim Rogers has about passing some frisky teenagers on the way somewhere, and they yelled out to him, "Who do you think you are? Some kind of rock star?" And his response was, "Well, that's what it says on my passport, dear sirs."
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
I'm not too good at the rebuttals. I can't, because that's like I'm saying. I'm just like, well, this is it, take it or leave it, sort of thing. So when people do that, you get put on the spot. I kind of don't know what to say.
On stage is sterling.
That's just because that's all the shit that happens in the days or weeks leading up to it. That's I call them like the piss weekities of my life, that I think that everyone goes through, they relate to it, but I deal with it in a far more irrational way that I can't sort of block it out. So when I'm tuning my guitar or whatever, I'm going, well, fucking, you want to come see my band? Here's what happened to me today. You listen to this story, whether you like it or not, coming at you live.
Well, people do listen, and this is rowdy crowds that do actually stop to listen. So it's maybe there is a bit of a shaman there. I don't know.
Hey man. Oh fuck. Well, I just like to say I take no responsibility for anybody's actions into that, but it goes down the same thing, man. It's like, I'm up there, I'm the master of ceremony, so to speak. I try to make everyone laugh and try to make everyone happy and try to make everyone have as good a time as I'm having, because that's what the band's all about. When people come down the shows, they pay their fucking money to come see us, and I don't want them to leave with anything less than the biggest fucking smile possible, When they've come down and put that time and their money in, Saturday night, especially now in Perth, I mean, there's so much shit happening all the time, and people are putting their money into us so we can keep doing this band and come down on their night off to be entertained and have a good time and not worry about any of the other shit. I try to give as much of myself as I can for those people to leave with the biggest smile possible.
You've earned yourself a drink, please.
Hey?
You've earned yourself a drink.
Thanks, man. So I'm trying not to rush it, but...
That's a great ethos. But I think, I don't think you overthink that. It's just you're just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think great showmen are like. So, who are some of the great showmen or frontmen that you've enjoyed in over the years in rock and roll?
Well, the big ones for me is, I believe the first time that we met, we embraced over David Lee Roth. And for me personally, again, art is subjective. Internet people, when you're viewing this, don't fucking go, oh, he's wrong on this. Yours is yours, mine is mine. He's my number one. I just think he's one of the greatest entertainers and most interesting people of all time.
He's showbiz.
He is, man. He is. You know, what is it? Life's a stage and I want the biggest spot. He is literally, and he's just like I say, you see a guy like that doing what he's doing, you can't help but be entertained.
And he took a bit from Jim Dandy.
He did.
Oak, Arkansas.
He did. He took more than a bit, didn't he?
More than a bit, yeah. Which was noticed a lot in America at the time.
Yep.
But in other countries, because Black Oak, Arkansas didn't really kind of jump the pond that much.
Yep.
And it wasn't necessarily noticed in any other countries. But for a time, it was a bit. If it was a thing to criticise Van Halen about, that was one of them. Kind of thing. But ultimately, he was.
But then after he left the band, there was far more to criticise them about.
Right. Yes. Yes, that's true. But through the sheer force of personality, he kind of broke through any comparisons.
Yeah.
So who else do you think?
Bon Scott, obviously. I think, Bon Scott. And Bon Scott, as much as it was him and, his, wink of the eye, that cheekiness, a lot of people say, he really does have that. But I like most what he represents in that band. When it comes to AC/DC, when you've got, the Young Brothers doing what they do, he was just the absolute perfect foil for that. He was and I'm saying, as a lyricist and everything that he did lifted what they'd already done, and they were already the best at their game, so in that rock and roll songwriting, they were already here. And to have someone like that comes across that was his own, his own self, that could break into that Brothers thing and then elevate it, that to me is just fucking near on bullshit. It's bullshittingly good. But, so him, another one, not so much he's still a front man, but Stevie Ray Vaughan, to be playing in a 3-piece blues band and then obviously a 4-piece when Reese Winans joined, but to be able to do that is just to captivate people that aren't necessarily guitarists into guitar playing and stuff like that, to head down that more mainstream, which he did. A lot of people that weren't sort of guitar nuts embraced this guy because they're like, fuck, who's this guy? I think that's a massive skill in itself. And to me, it drew me in. And then the other one is Shawn Michaels, the wrestler. Because I think he's just one of the most captivating men of all time. He thinks he's cute. He knows he's sexy. Doesn't get any better than that.
You got to have yacht spot.
you got to have it, mate. Hey, I don't get paid enough as much as I'd like to be able to dance around in tights. And I don't have the body that he does, but, it'd be fair to say I'm quite envious of his gig in the past.
Well, I've always said any time you can dance around on a stage in tights, it's well worth looking into.
Absolutely.
Because even if you get to do it, you possibly don't get to do it enough.
Oh, you got to do it at the Newport, didn't you?
I get to do it. Now.
Hey, you get to wear makeup too,
man. That's right. But that's another great front man that we won't go into right now. But, so Michael Stipe of R.E.M. said, I've been there and you can't get there from here. Now, over the last sort of 10 months, it's been a bit rocky now and then.
Yep.
But you're back on and, back and firing.
Yep.
So having been there, what's it like to be here?
It's different. I'm not going to lie. It definitely, it changes you. When shit happens, as what did happen in the band, you know, it changes the way that you think about things. But in the sense of the band and the music and whatever, it's very vindicating to be able to be doing what we're doing. It's very, heartwarming, and again, vindicating to now have the guys that we're doing the band that want to be here, that really want to give it a go, and that are, you know, all in it for the same reason, which is basically all I've ever been looking for, is someone that, you know, people that shared my vision of, you know, like I say, having a good time, obviously putting in the hours and just giving it as much of a crack as you can. And that's why it's bloody good to, you know, be able to be sitting here like this, having a $10 mojito, talking shit, and looking forward to the future and knowing that, you know, it's all happening. We got tours coming up, man. We got heaps of shit, and from a, you know, like I say, a rock and roll band in Perth in 2018 to be doing this, it's pretty fucking cool. I personally reckon. Again, if you don't, but you know.
So, where are we? In March. What can you see for the rest of the year? Now that the train is on the track.
Yep, we're gonna get a heap more music out. Been doing a lot of recording with Dan Carroll at RADA, who's an absolute genius. And so we're actually, as we speak, putting the finishing touches on another new song already. And we're going to be releasing a bunch of new music. And we're just going to be trying to tour as much as we can and releasing as much music as we can. Because we've got the songs there, and it's just about, you know, as with everything in the world, especially in the music industry, you know, it's a struggle to make any fucking money as it is. But we're just trying to, everything we get, we're either going on tour or going in the studio, you know. Alex and, you know, our manager Alex and myself often joke about our lack of any real nutrients or any holidays or some of life's pleasures, as it's all just all in, get it, all right, put it back into this, and they say training's on the tracks, so now it's on the tracks, may as well fucking ride it till the track ends.
It's a rock and roll train, as ACDC.
That's it.
Have it.
Let's see if we can get the money to have something fucking crash through the back of the stage. That'd be sick.
Well, I'm sure that can be arranged.
Do you know anyone with a train?
A train driver?
Can you speak to Transperth for us?
Oh, we already have. I think we'll leave it there. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
A round with Callum Kramer. Thank you.
Thanks, man.